the extent is varied depending on what department you're looking at and what area you're going to and everything. So I think enforcing this more, either through extended time, maybe it's like, instead of, for the first year, it'd be like the year and a half or 2 years you're with a partner who has 3 years on you, maybe, or maybe making it more frequent. Instead of just simply saying, this is your sergeant, you report to them. Every once in a while you mentor and go on a patrol with them. It's more, this is your partner for the next year, for the next 365 days. You two will know each other and, work with each other. Something along those lines where the new guy learns firsthand from personal experience. He's not reading it out of a book. He's not going through another safety or some sort of brief on a PowerPoint, much like what you're watching right now. He's getting firsthand knowledge of not just certain procedures, but of the area that he's actually operating in, because I found that a lot of those safety briefs and other briefs and everything, and PowerPoints, they cover the baseline subject, but they don't cover the actual in-your-face environment right then and there. However, with profiling and experience and everything, we got to remember that our officers are human. And this NPR, the link down below, the NPR article there was actually caught my eye here. I found by reading this that there is actually an organization that is currently being hired out by many departments across the U.S. Since 2013, I believe, is when the boom started for them. They say 2014 was the big spike after Ferguson and everything, where they get a anti-biased training. The article was kind of a double-edged sword, or a two-lane idea, where you have the anti-biased training where it's, hey, this is good because this is forcing officers to recognize that, they have, a bias towards certain individuals, groups, or what have you, to where they're more likely to, gravitate toward that one person or that group or this area if they're trying to find, a criminal activity going on, versus another group or whatnot. It kind of forces them to face their humanity as far as, hey, we're not all perfect, but just because you don't like it doesn't mean they're actually not, doesn't mean they're actually bad people. Case in point, I have a tendency, I myself am black, and I have a tendency to kind of shy away from or have a negative annotation toward those who dress and speak in a more ghetto-ish or kind of the new age rap scene mentality there. And I tend to think that they're lower educated, or they're usually up to no good, and I recognize it. I still think it. I don't necessarily act on it though, and that's what these training seminars that they have are geared toward. It's recognizing that you have that bias, but not to solely act on that bias. Get additional information. Are they actually doing something bad, or is it just that you don't like them? Alright, they're just gathering there, they aren't breaking any trespassing laws or anything like that, and they're laughing and having a good time. Alright, I'll leave them alone. But, that other group over there, yeah, they're looking over their shoulders, they're looking a little skittish. Yes, they are that group I don't like, but there are other factors that are involved that make me believe that they're up to no good. The other side of that article, though, was that they believe that there are some that believe that too much of this training it can prove harmful, and they have a couple examples of where they believe that it has proven harmful, and I can actually see where they're coming from with this, where since the Black Lives Movement and similar movements have come up, where officers are far more hesitant now to either follow through with a procedure or even engage at all on a certain arrest or stop. They're hesitant. It's like, is this going to lead to me being the next cop killer or civilian killing cop or whatnot? Is this something I want to do? I won't even engage in it. Or, all right, I'm going to let this guy go, even though procedure says I probably should cuff him, but I don't want to look like the bad guy because there's 10 different cameras around here videotaping it. So it's, or even, that group over there on the side, they look skittish, they look, like trouble. I don't like the way they dress anyway. However, I can't go over there because I'm a white cop and that's a black group. I don't want that bad press, so I'm just going to keep on moving by. And later later that night, here you find that a couple members from that group just killed a woman. And that's why they were, skittish. They were going to do a alleyway robbery, and it went a little too far. Well, that's the fear that some of the naysayers for the anti-bias training are saying. They're not saying it's all bad, but too much could be just a little too much for our officers. And that is what I have for you there. Hope you learned something on that, and you have a good summer.